welcome our last speaker. He is a young man who will introduce his own recipe in starting out his own organization. He was the chairperson of ISA 2 years ago. He is also one of the co-founders of E-Academy, and his team just successfully wrapped up the first ever hackathon event in Hong Kong universities. So let's welcome Ivan.
Can everyone hear me? I think you guys can, right? All right, it has been a great night, isn't it? You guys don't feel like you are at HKUST, right? But we are still at HKUST, so let's just recap what we have learned today, okay? So I think Leo has told you about being fearless, right? And then Tai talked about finding inner philosophy. And I think Andrew just now told you to become passionate, right? And if you listen to their stories, they're telling different stories, right? And you should realize that different people care about different things. I'm Ivan. I'm a final year computer science student. Some of you might know me from my previous engagement from different student organizations. But today, I'm going to give you a gift for staying. It's a little bit late. So I'm going to give you a gift, and I'm going to share with you how you can help change the world. Now, I've been here for 3.5 years, and I've met people who truly care about something, who truly passionate about something, and they started something about it. For example, Ryan Cow here, I think. Yeah, he was passionate about student sharing platform, and he started YTalk, for example. And back last weekend, we had this hackathon at SKUST. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, and they were all hacking all their solutions to the problem they truly want to solve. And obviously, some of the speakers here have started something about the things that they're truly passionate about. But sadly, some of you might be truly care about something, but you find it difficult for you to find people with the same interests or organizations, platform that can accommodate you to contribute back to the society by doing whatever you love. Is there anyone in the audience who feels that way? No? No one's passionate about something? Oh, what are you passionate about? What are you passionate about, Love?
Doing something with e-test on something.
Doing something in practice. That's really great. All right. So my question to them has always been, why not start a new one? Right? But their answer has been pretty natural. They say, well, you got to be someone who's influential, someone who's well-connected, someone who's experienced, to start those things up. I myself have started different student organizations on campus. I've started some profit-making ones, some trying to make profit ones. And yeah, I failed for a lot of times. And whenever people look at my profile, they ask me questions like, how did you manage to start those organizations up? And for a lot of times, my answer to that question has always been, I don't know, it just happened to me naturally. Until one day, I was walking back to my dorm room. I was on the bridge, and I had a thought about what are the things that I really did when I started those organizations up. And I came up with this list of things. There are a lot of them. But when I compare between the different student organizations, the organizations that I failed to create, I found out that there are just 5 simple steps. 5 simple steps that anyone here in the audience, you can just start whatever organization that you want to start and continue to work on the things that you truly care about. And I'm going to give you an example of the organization that I created to tell you what the steps are. This is the Indonesian Students Association. Anyone here from Indonesia? All right, yeah, you can see them. Okay, 2.5 years ago, I was in a dinner with my friends. I was this guy. And I thought that, the bonding that we have as an Indonesian student is just so great. There were 30 of us, and we knew each other, we supported each other. So that's really great. But I foresaw that the number of Indonesian students are going to grow, right? And at one point, it's going to be really hard for us to really maintain that kind of relationship. So I have this vision of why don't we create something that internally acts as a platform for us to connect with each other, support each other, and externally to promote Indonesian culture to the community. This step, the first step, I call it to define what you're trying to do. Because as an organization, you don't want to just sit down and have dinner together and do nothing. You want to have a reason for being. And then I gathered some of the people that I knew, and I told them about the idea of why don't we create some organization like this. And they bought into it. They joined my team. This step, I call it building a team. Now, it's very trivial for you guys to think that, yeah, obviously you got to build your team because there's no one-person organization. But what might not be so trivial for you is by having people to join your team, they're actually telling you that whatever you're trying to do is worth their time, their effort, and therefore worth working on. Now, obviously, we did quite a lot of activities. And what I learned from those activities is, in the beginning of your organization life, if you happen to start one, people might be so excited about what they're trying to do. But they don't know what specifically needs to be done, what goals need to be accomplished. And you gotta drive them. As somebody who initiated something, you gotta drive them. You gotta be a little bit more directive than you usually are. And then, when the organization became a little bit mature, we realized that some of us needed to go on exchange, and some of us were gonna graduate. And at that time, we started trying to find people who were capable of taking the organization moving forward. And I call this step delegating. For a person like me, it's really hard to delegate important stuff to people. Delegate stuff like finding sponsors, finding partners. But what I didn't realize back then is at one point of time, you want to hand over your organization. You want to build a sustainable organization. Even Apple, for example, Steve Jobs passed away and Apple is still there. And delegating important stuff to people is a way for you to prepare for this handover thing. And when I had to hand over my organization, it wasn't that hard at all because I knew that I'm giving it away to people who are capable of taking it moving forward. And the result is a successful activity last weekend, which was attended by, I think, 170 people that really serves our internal purpose to become a platform that connects people together and externally to promote Indonesian culture to everyone. Now, this is my recipe to start a new organization. Obviously, you have heard about our speakers today talking about their own organizations. And now you can create one too. And remember, from this talk, you gotta be thick-skinned, you gotta start before you are ready, you gotta understand yourself, and so on and so forth. But for a lot of you, you might be thinking, oh, okay, this guy is talking in front of me for 10 minutes. Why does it all matter to me? What's in it for me? Let me tell you why. 3.5 years ago, I joined HKUST. And back then, we only had the hall societies, the sport associations, the departmental societies. We had the International Students Association and the Mainland Student Society. Today, we have Entrepreneurship Academy. We have Design Alpha. We have E-Club. We have Great Minds. We have White Talk. And suddenly, HKUST becomes a much better place for people to live, to learn, to contribute to. Today's sharing is not about me. It's not about telling you my story. It isn't about getting every one of you to start a new organization. But this is about you. And this is about how you can help to create a better world. Because I believe by having people to work together as a team on the things that they truly care about, we can together push the society that we are in forward and make it a better place to be. Thank you.